We're back. We're gonna run these back, but I think they fucked up.
That said, let's introduce our
They fucked up.
contestants. For today's Squid Game, we have Plankton, Man Ray, Mr. Crocker, Vicky, King Goobot, Professor Calamitous, Coco LaBouche, Shaq, La Sombra, Cliff, Kip O'Donnell, Scrawl, Lars Rodriguez, Nora Beatty, Dag, Boog, Snaptrap, Vlad Plasmius, Sartana of the Dead, Queen Vexus, Fire Lord Ozai, Traloc, Dr. Blowhole, Shredder, Dorcas, Amon, Zahir, Big Mama, and Morag. Oh.
I can see Fire Lord, but you really gonna tell me that Shredder not winning? Come on, Shredder ain't even got no powers. He ain't got to worry about that. That nigga just strong than a bitch. At least I think he. This nigga got like a super serum, but even still, the nigga's an actual fucking ninja. He ain't relied on none of that shit. He a ninja. No.
Okay. As such, we could imagine that he knows plenty of ways to
Told
kill someone.
niggas. What I say? I said when they said that name, that was the only name that needed to be said, B. Alright? That was the only name. I caught it from the beginning, B. You seen it. I caught that shit, man. Come on. It's me, nigga. Come on, man. Let's get to the Squid Game, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. That nigga Shredder about to put that nigga in the head. Look. Give him a little nuggie on the back of the neck. Slap that nigga. Hang him over the edge. Say, is this your king? And drop him on a knee like, ugh. Throw him out the circle.
Squid Game.
Fuck that nigga.
Two opponents.
Let's go.
Here can be Shredder.
Nasty.
Would be able to mentally outmatch.
Smoking Zai, drinking gin. We them niggas from the creek and we gon' fucking win. Smoking Zai, drinking gin. We them niggas from the creek and we gon' fucking win again.
I think I'm gonna need that. And we gotta watch this. This gotta be a good one right here. Oh. Duh. Why didn't I think of that? That makes perfect sense. Yo, that's stupid. Which Nickelodeon character, Nickelodeon villain would win Squid Game? That's a fire ass concept. Who you got, nigga? No changing your answer. Who you got? Right here, right now. Let me know in the comments, because I'm putting this motherfucker on YouTube. This sounds like a fire ass video. I got everybody from Nickelodeon. So anybody from a cartoon from Nickelodeon. I would say Crocker, but I feel like that's easy. Zim was on Nickelodeon, wasn't it? If Invader Zim on there, I'm going with Invader Zim. Think. I gotta see who the lineup is.
I'm Caleb with Wicked Binge, and this is which
Plankton
Nickelodeon
definitely ain't
villain
with it.
would win Squid Game.
Shorty from Robots. She might win. Well, if it's a teenage robot, I can see that.
Ground rules. Namely, everyone enters the games with no powers and no weapons, putting everyone on as equal of a playing field as possible. Additionally, while we will allow different characters from the same show, we're still going to try and touch on as many different Nickelodeon properties as possible. With all that said, let's introduce our contestants. For today's
Here we go.
Plankton, Man
Plankton.
Ray, Mr. Crocker,
Man Ray,
Vicky,
Mr.
King
Crocker.
Goobot, Professor Calamitous, Coco LaBouche, Shaq, La Sombra, Cliff, Kip O'Donnell, Scrawl, Lars Rodriguez, Nora Beatty, Dag, Boog, Snaptrap, Vlad Plasmius, Sartana of the Dead, Queen Vexus, Fire Lord Ozai, Traloc, Dr. Blowhole, Shredder, Dorcas, Eamon, Zahir, Big Mama, and Morag. Okay, our
We gonna run these
29
back, but I think they fucked up.
That said, let's introduce our
They fucked up.
contestants. For today's Squid Game, we have Plankton, Man Ray, Mr. Crocker, Vicky, King Goobot, Professor Calamitous, Coco LaBouche, Shaq, La Sombra, Cliff, Kip O'Donnell, Scrawl, Lars Rodriguez, Nora Beatty, Dag, Boog, Snaptrap, Vlad Plasmius, Sartana of the Dead, Queen Vexus, Fire Lord Ozai, Traloc, Dr. Blowhole, Shredder, Dorcas, Eamon, Zahir, Big Mama, and Morag. Oh,
I can see Fire Lord, but you really gonna tell me that Shredder not winning? Come on, Shredder ain't even got no powers. He ain't got to worry about that. That nigga just strong than a bitch.
At least I think he. This nigga got like a super serum, but even still, the nigga's an actual fucking ninja. He ain't relied on none of that shit. He a ninja.
No.
okay, our 29 villains are ready to go. So, let's get started. As always,
some
we'll
bullshit
start
right
with
there.
our first game, Red Light,
That's
Green
tough.
Light. Red Light, Green Light is a game that's all about speed and sharp listening skills. The goal is to make it to the finish line as fast as you can. However, if a player is too focused on the finish line to realize when a red light is coming up, or if they easily panic and accidentally move or stumble when they're supposed to freeze, this game could spell their doom. Right off the bat, we feel that Vexus does incredibly well at this game. Though she doesn't necessarily enjoy following others' orders, she's still able to listen well, especially if that means saving her own circuits.
I said it could be her
She's
too.
also very speedy. Another speedy character is Vlad. Even without his ghost powers,
Vlad gonna be
the
tricky
guy
as
looks
well.
pretty good for his age.
I think he definitely gonna be in the top rounds.
Of course, we can't forget to mention Shredder in this category. Being a martial
sure.
artist, he's not only physically capable, but also observant and, for the most part, can keep a cool head. As for the people who end up falling in this round, the first casualty is Lars. Being the youngest competitor in the
Lars.
villain lineup,
Got him out of
we
there.
feel
That's
like
tough.
he'd easily panic once the bullets start flying. Another villain we have to say goodbye to is Nora. While she is
first out,
observant and would
for sure.
likely be able to follow the rules under normal circumstances, she is incredibly anxious, and we can't see her being able to freeze in place once she starts getting really stressed. Unfortunately, another villain who we can't see making it off the playing field is the one and only Icky Vicky. Although Vicky's evilness is
Icky
incredibly
Vicky.
impressive,
I didn't even see her
at
in the
end of
lineup.
day, she's still a teenage girl. She can be easily annoyed, not very observant, and pretty reckless. So she doesn't make it very far. Right behind her would be the wicked fashionista, Coco. Unfortunately for her, it's not her lack of smarts or her poor
Coco was
listening
probably
skills
second
that
out.
would get her, but instead it's her fashion sense. Pro tip: never try to play this. Instead, it's her lack of smarts or her poor listening skills that would get her, but instead it's her.
She had the
fashion
yeeks
sense.
out.
Pro tip: never try to play this game in heels. Our final death.
Oh,
of the game
shit, trying to
belongs
give me
Brooke.
TOS.
Let's just face it, the guy isn't that smart.
No, I'm just playing. I would've beat.
Other than having the strength to bop people, he isn't
You think
very
fourth?
physically fit either. He may be a bit of a tough guy, but toughness can only get you so far. With 24.
Oh, no, she was
characters
fourth in the-
left, it's time for
okay,
our
I see what you're
next
saying.
game, Papagi, or honeycomb. The honeycomb game requires patience and a steady hand.
Again,
Shaking or pressure could
Shredder made
cause
it.
a fatal break. As such, our contestants will need to have enough focus to poke out their shape without accidentally breaking it. Funnily enough, we feel that Plankton's size helps him a ton in this challenge. With
I can
his
see
head
that.
so small, it would
He
be
probably just
easy
bite
for
that
him to
motherfucker
focus
whole
on the
time.
tiny details of the honeycomb. His intelligence also plays a huge role.
Like he
in
literally
his
could probably just
victory.
eat around that
When it comes
motherfucker
to
because his
steady
bites wouldn't,
hands,
bite mark
we
wouldn't
feel
even be
like
that big.
Professor Calamitous has a pretty good chance, given that he is an inventor and likely is used to
Yeah, let Professor Calamitous get out of that round. I don't know. I can really see him overthinking it. You know, trying to outsmart the cookie and then doing too much. But I mean, hey, if y'all say so.
working with tiny
Okay,
things.
Calamitous made it.
Another villain who does well is the mystical skeletal villainess Sartana. She's a guitar player, so we can guess that she's got some pretty steady hands. Finally, while you would
Shit, them.
guess that she's got some
She wet up them claws. She gonna be straight. Look at them pinchers. All she gotta do. She gonna scrape that motherfucker right on
pretty
out.
steady hands.
Perfectly.
Finally, while you would think his various tics would make this game a struggle, we feel like it's Crocker's patience and a keen eye for detail that allows him to make it through. So
Again, that might be Cap right there. I don't know. I feel like that's Cap. I feel like Crocker. He would think about a fairy or something, or feel like he got there because of fairies, and then just, nah, it's not gonna, no. I call Cap.
so long as no one mentions anything to him about fairy godparents, that is. However,
He's gonna be
while
thinking
many
about
of our
fairies.
human villains
He's in a
would
random
manage to
location.
Squeak by, it's naturally much harder for our animal contestants, which is why we have to say goodbye to both Dag and Cliff. For Dag, he just doesn't have the opposable thumbs needed to carefully get the honeycomb out. As
I
for
can see that.
Cliff, the guy may have thumbs, but he's just too buff and tough for his own good, resulting in him likely breaking the honeycomb right
I don't know.
away. Additionally, Dr. Blowhole
kinda
also seems like he
extra.
would struggle in this instance. Like Calamitous, he's an inventor, which should give him an advantage in a game like this.
Who's spoiled now?
I don't see
Still, we
how,
feel like
but
those
okay.
fins of his would be a huge disadvantage, especially when it comes to something as tiny and slippery as a needle. Finally, we have to say so long to Snaptrap. This one doesn't really come down to physical abilities, but rather his personality. Snaptrap is arrogant, childish, and borderline crazy. There's no way he'd have the patience for a challenge like this. Here, take it, I surrender! With several
just a
more
couple-
deaths marked off, we're down to only
Crocker literally doesn't have any type of fucking patience because he just wants to find fairies. So how the fuck would he pay attention for long enough to?
20
Never mind.
villains left on the board. Following the honeycomb game, we of course have the Midnight Brawl. Lack of food and sleep, plus the stress of staying alive, can drive any person to the point of violence. And in these games, it's every player for themselves. To survive this game, a person must be either strong enough to fight or clever and sneaky enough to hide. So, who would be able to either fend off attackers or
Come on now.
hide themselves until the
Real talk, it's only like 4 characters left after this brawl. Like, no, powers or not, it's really only like 4 characters left after this brawl. The rest of them is not bumpers.
brawl was over. For our winners of this round, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that our 2 masters of stealth would be Plankton and Shredder. With Plankton, while his tiny size might normally be a detriment, here it's the perfect way to avoid a fight. As for
He got
Shredder,
little,
well,
literally.
he's a ninja, and even if he wasn't much for stealth, he could easily defeat anyone who even tried to fight him. Being a poacher, we feel like Kip would also have a strong sense.
He said, I beat the shit out of me.
Of stealth and of avoiding conflict, allowing him to survive another round. And while Ozai may not be able to rely on his firebending while in the Squid Games, the guy is still pretty buff and can still put up a fight when he wants to.
You are right. I do have the power.
He's also about as ruthless as the Shredder, so you just know that he'd be finding a way to kill someone in 1 or 2 shots. As for the losers of this game, we're first starting off with Skrull. While big, he's not what we'd call a fighter. Though he could probably defend himself in a pinch, he couldn't do much in a real fight. And unfortunately, he's just too big to properly hide himself. Also going down in this round is Morag. Yeah, this lady didn't really stand much of a chance. She's middle-aged, a little on the short side, and had to rely on magic and a dragon in order to be a proper threat. There's no way she's making it out of here. Speaking of magic, we also have to say goodbye to Trelloc. He's another character who relies heavily on his dark magic abilities, and without them, we feel like he'd really struggle to survive in a game like this. Our final death is His Majesty King Goobot. Needless to say, eggs, and by extent egg aliens, are not fighters. In fact, we see in the Jimmy Neutron movie just how easy it is to knock these guys over. Additionally, because Goobot is such a bright green and needs to be in a metal suit, well, let's just say that hiding is out of the question for him. So, after another deadly round, we're now down to only 16 characters, and just in time for another strength-based game, Tug of War. Unlike the actual Squid Game, we aren't going to assign characters to specific teams. Instead, we're simply going to judge them based on their abilities and likelihood to survive. To win Tug of War, you don't just need strength, you also
doesn't that technically defeat the purpose of Tug of War? It's like it really depends on what team you end up on. So how you just gonna take that whole part out of it? Like, how does that work? That's what I'm saying. Just pull a number out of a hat or something. Like, at this point, it don't matter. Like, it was multiple people that should have been gone in some of the rounds that you didn't get up out of there for your own biases. So it's not like it's perfect anyways. That shit crazy. So they said, fuck it. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I think they dropped off my food. Oh God, need a little quick commercial. Commercial break. We're back. Just playing.
Need strategy and a willingness to work with others. Even weaker players have a shot at surviving if they can coordinate properly with stronger players. Naturally, the ones who are going to succeed in this round are the ones who know how to be strong leaders, such as Vexus and Zahir. We also feel that Vlad would be an excellent strategist and would know how to play whoever he teamed up with to his advantage. But not even smarts could save Plankton, who is the first to die this time around. Even if we were to bump him up in size a bit, Plankton still struggles when it comes to anything physical. He's also not much of a team person, as
he probably wouldn't have struggled if he was on somebody's team who was strong.
Struggle physically are Kip, Mr. Crocker, and Dorcas. All three of these guys pretty much have the same weaknesses. They're lanky, fairly weak, aren't the best.
I mean, if you was gonna do it like this, then you could have literally just put all the strong niggas on the same side. Like,
and don't play well.
That defeats the purpose of Tug of War.
The final death of this round could also fall into these categories, that villain being La Sombra. There are many faults that could lead to La Sombra's death, but in our opinion, his main downfall really would be his selfishness and willingness to risk others' lives before his own.
Yes, our boat is unfortunately wrecked.
As we see in the Hey Arnold Jungle movie, the games are halfway over and we still have 11 villains left. Up next, we have the Marble Game. Marbles is an interesting one, at least in the context of Squid Game. There are multiple ways.
See, this is another situation where you gotta pair niggas up.
They could focus on accuracy or how far they can roll their marble, or they can simply guess how many marbles are in
Like,
their
I know
opponent's
Shredder
hand.
with
As
finesse,
such,
but
there are
finesse who?
multiple ways to win, with most of these ways relying on either
'Cause maybe he
skill
doesn't finesse
or
the fire
luck.
guy.
Of course, if you don't have the skills to win, there's always manipulation. If we're talking manipulators, there is really no one better than Big Mama. She's always making deals and then getting the better end of them, often without the other person realizing what has happened. Eamon,
Not familiar
Vexus,
with Big
and
Mama.
Vlad are also both excellent manipulators, able to take on personas of sorts that either earn them someone else's favor or make it easy for others to let their guard down, which allows them to then strike. Because, hey, these guys are more than happy to betray others. Speaking of betrayal, Shredder is also not afraid to simply use others.
Think Shredder
to
is
his
just whacking,
advantage.
nigga.
While he's not the smartest guy in the bunch, it's ultimately
Oh, wait, you can't do
Shredder's
physical
cool
shit.
head and imposing nature that would make it easy for him to get the better of whoever he teamed up with for this game. As for our losers, while it may have taken him a while, this is finally where Professor Calamitous falls. For as much as he's a
Interesting.
genius, he's also pretty old, and we've seen that it's pretty easy for him to get distracted or lose track of what he's doing. Hence why he can almost never finish anything. Needless to say, you need a sharp mind for this game. Another villain who is easy to fool.
That nigga just fall asleep during the match. Like, so what happened?
Sartana of the
I wish they
Dead.
would've kinda
As much as
explained.
We may love her, we can't deny just how many times she's
El
been
Tigre
tricked
was
by
fire. I didn't know where she was from, but El Tigre was a good ass show. I remember El Tigre. It's a couple of little shows that's kind of coming back to me. That's why I like taking these little nostalgia walks. You gotta remember shit every once in a while. Really indulge in some shit.
Manny and Frida, and without any advantages that could help her in the actual game portion of this round, we felt that this is where she ultimately meets her end. Our final two deaths are two villains who just couldn't keep their egos and tempers in check. Man Ray and Shaq. As we said before,
Man
they
Ray.
both a sharp mind and a cool
Damn.
mind. As any
Made it far, but not far
frustration
enough.
make it easy for you
That's
to be
tough, man,
tricked
Ray.
and make it easy to fumble during the actual game of marbles.
Did you think I'd let you win?
For these reasons,
Hell
both
nah.
Man Ray and Shaq just couldn't cut it.
I just
With
needed
that,
to win.
We're now down to only 7 contestants, and just in time for one of this competition's deadliest games, Glass Stepping Stones.
You gotta
This
be light on
game's
your
another
feet.
tricky one for a hypothetical.
See, like, there's certain motherfuckers that I think would like kill this shit, even if the glass broke. Like, I'm pretty sure if you're a ninja, if the glass break, you probably can get to the next glass piece, and or the next glass piece after that, before it actually shatters and you fall through, because you're trained to be that light on your feet. So I could see that.
Scenario.
There's a couple
As
people
much as
on
this
that
game
list that's
relies
like that.
on luck, there is one strategy to it, however, that being the advantage of going last after some glass pieces have already been broken. As such, those who have a big enough ego to want to try a game first will likely seal their doom. If we're talking egos, then Ozai certainly has one of the biggest. The
got your
guy
ass, nigga.
literally named himself the Phoenix King. We absolutely feel like he'd force himself to the front, not realizing how bad of a choice that was until it was too late.
Got his
Vlad
ass.
Similarly, has a big ego. At this point in the games,
Got
he'd
his
probably
ass.
think that he was smart enough to outsmart whatever was thrown at him. Unfortunately, without his ghostly flight powers, Vlad ends up taking the long plunge. Next up on the chopping block is Queen Vexus.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
because she
Come
is
on.
unable to fly,
Shredder gotta be
Vexus has
winning.
No other skills or
I caught
strategies she
it.
could rely on, which means she doesn't last too long. The same could be said for Big Mama.
Yes, sir. Line it up. It's gotta be Shredder.
as she wouldn't be able to use any of her webbing to help her get across. Still, we feel that at the very least, she's ruthless enough to try and take people with her once she realizes that she isn't going to escape death again. There's no rule for pushing people off after all, and this is what leads us to this round's final death, Eamon. It was pretty close, as Eamon is the type to stand back and observe without any ego or cockiness getting in the way, but sometimes patience really can.
Oh yeah,
be
just
a
lined it
detriment.
straight on up
That
for me.
leaves us with only 2 remaining Nicktoons baddies,
Come on.
Shredder and Zahir. Zahir is very similar to Eamon in that he can be patient when it comes to waiting
no
for
way
the right moment to strike.
this nigga
We can
finna beat
see him
Shredder.
going last, giving him the best chance of making it through. As for Shredder, while his lack of eagerness to go first certainly helps, his ninja abilities have likely also given him quick reflexes. Additionally, Shredder is just as ruthless and deadly, if not more so, than Big Mama. So we could also see him pushing someone if he needed or wanted to. We are now heading
Come on, man, let's
into
get to
our
the Squid
final
game, man.
round, the
Yeah.
titular Squid.
Yes, sir. That nigga Shredder about to put that nigga in the head. Look. Give him a little nuggie on the back of the neck. Slap that nigga. Hang him over the edge. Say, is this your king? And drop him on the knee like, ugh. Throw him out the circle.
Squid Game. In
Fuck
this
that
game,
nigga.
2 opponents must go up against one another, with one acting as defender and the other as an attacker, with the attacker doing everything they can to reach the top of the court or the squid's head and touch it with their foot, with the defender doing whatever they can to stop them. Or at least that's how Squid Game is traditionally played. Here though, it's more of a battle to the death type of deal. Again, this was another close call, as both of these villains are physically capable even without their signature weapons and abilities. But ultimately, we felt that the winner coming out of this matchup just had to be Shredder. For his skilled,
Let's
strong,
go!
and intelligent as Zahir can be, Shredder just seems like he
Nasty!
would be able to mentally outmatch him, given that he probably knows more than one style of martial arts. Shredder is also one of the deadliest villains in the Nickelodeon canon, and as such, we could imagine that he knows plenty of ways to kill
Told
someone
niggas.
even.
What I say? I said when they said that name, that was the only name that needed to be said, B. Alright? That was the only name. I caught it from the beginning, B. You seen it. I caught that shit, man. Come on. It's me, nigga.
Even if he doesn't have his blades on hand.
Nah, it's been a minute since I got a little prediction, right? Kinda
He
hype.
certainly has the potential. But if you're asking us, we just can't imagine anyone else but Shredder walking away with the money and the title of Squid Game champion. But let
Come
us
on
know
now.
in the comment section if you agree with our results.
Know what time it
and Tell
is.
us what we should cover next. Remember to
Shredder.
hit that notification bell and binge more.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Drinking gin, we them niggas from the creek and we gon' fucking win. Smoking Zai.